It's probably not the most comfortable situation at the holidays, but if you're looking to talk to your family about your estate plan, let's look at 5 quick tips that you can take with you to try to make that conversation a little bit easier. My name is Andrew Ayers. I'm an estate planning and business law attorney with offices in Edina, Minnesota and New York City, and today we'll do some quick 5 tips for having that discussion at the holidays, or really any time of year, with your family about your estate plan. Now, with the holidays coming up, there's probably going to be a lot of things on your plate, figuratively and literally. You've got a lot of things to do, and sitting down to talk with your family members about your estate plan is likely not top of your list. However, this time of year, as we come to December, many people want to make sure they get their estate plan in place before the end of the year. Or once that calendar rolls over to January of the next year, it's the first thing on the to-do list. Maybe they read a blog about it, they heard a podcast, they know the importance of getting an estate plan created, and they want to know, what are those next steps? What do we have to do? As part of the process, you don't actually have to talk to your family about what's in your estate plan. It doesn't have to be like the movies, where your family has to gather in a lawyer's office and everyone's sitting in big leather chairs as the lawyer cracks open the will and tells you all about and reads the will word for word about who's getting what, and then everybody's shocked and there's a mistress inheriting a Rolls Royce and a whole family you never knew about. Those are made for movies, they're made for TV. It's really great high drama, but it's not what happens in most cases. And you don't have to wait for that time for your family to find out what is in your estate plan. So if you'd like to have that discussion with your family, it's going to seem a little bit awkward, but I've got 5 quick tips for you today that makes that discussion maybe a little bit easier for you. Number 1, choose the right time and place. So if you're in the middle of the holidays and it's getting a little tense, maybe there's some politics going around the dinner table, or maybe the kids are present and you don't necessarily want the young kids to hear about what's going on in your estate plan, don't just pipe up and say, by the way, right here, I've got a copy of our will. Let's talk about who's inheriting what. It's not the way you want to do it. Make sure you have the right time and place for that discussion. You especially want to make sure that you're reaching out to the right members of the family to be included in that discussion, and so you do it at the right time. You don't want to do it when one of your siblings or one of your children is not present and they're going to be a very important part of the estate planning documents in the process. Number 2, if you can, set an agenda. You can let everybody know that you're going to discuss the estate plan, and you can set the agenda and let them know, what are we going to talk about, in what order. You can tell them whether it's been signed or not. Are these things you're thinking about doing? Is it already set in stone and filed with your local court? Is it located with your lawyer? Like, what's going on? You can make sure to set that agenda so everybody knows what are the priorities for that discussion. So you can say, we're not here to discuss that extra family that we have that you don't know about. We're here to talk about your inheritance, or we're more importantly here to talk about the powers of attorney. We want everybody to be clear on who is taking over what role. And that's number 3. Remember, this is a team sport. So we want to make sure everybody's on the same page. We're all acting as a team when we're looking at the way that your estate plan will play out. So there's going to be 2 parts to your estate plan. One, while you're still alive, and the second for after you're dead. While you're still alive, we're looking at things like powers of attorney and HIPAA authorizations. We want to make sure we have the right people in the right roles. We want the right players on the team to be there to make decisions and be able to do what needs to be done. So that part of the estate plan requires that everybody's on the same page. So you've got the right child, the right sibling, the right spouse, whoever it may be, making the right decisions for you. The other half of the plan is what happens after you're gone. We want to make sure everyone's clear on what happens to your assets after you're gone. Maybe we have vacation homes that are going to be inherited by certain members of the family, and there's certain reasons for that, and you want to make sure that everybody's on that same page. They all understand how they fit into the team and what that looks like as when the estate plan is executed on after you're gone. Number 4, lay the groundwork. You want to make sure that you speak to individuals ahead of this. So if we're going to do a big family discussion, or maybe not big, maybe it's just you need to speak to your 2 kids, it's probably important to lay that foundation ahead of time. Let them know it's coming. Don't be cryptic about, we're having a meeting and I'm not going to tell you what it is. Let them know what you're going to discuss, and give them details they may need to know about. You may need to soften some blows if you're going to be giving one child more than the other, or there could be any number of reasons why the estate plan isn't a straight 50-50 split or 1/3, 1/3, 1/3 amongst your children. So if that's the case, make sure you lay that groundwork with the children so that nobody's surprised. You don't need anybody throwing plates or stomping off or driving off in the night because they're mad about this. And then number 5, review and update your documents together. When we do things like powers of attorney, we need to make sure we have current addresses, current phone numbers, the best way to reach people. We want to make sure we have up-to-date information. Maybe you have somebody who gets married and changes their name, or you're not sure if they changed their name. Well, we want to make sure the document is properly drafted with the right names in there. So we want to make sure we're working together with our family members. So again, I'm not saying you have to have this discussion at the holidays. There's plenty of families, I would probably guess 99% of the families, who do not have a holiday discussion about their estate plan. But in case you do, you got 5 steps, 5 little tips you can take to try to make it a little bit easier. Choose the right time and place, set an agenda, remember it's a team sport, lay the groundwork, and then review and update your documents together. You can work as a team, you can make this whole estate planning process easy and simple, and everyone understands what their role is and what's going to happen with your estate. If you have more questions or you're ready to get started, you can go to my website, andrewmayers.com. There's a red legal strategy session button on the front page. Click that and you'll be taken to my scheduling page where we can set up a 15 or 20 minute legal strategy session to talk about where you are in the process. Do we need a new estate plan? Maybe we're just updating an old one after this discussion at the holidays. We'll get on the calendar, we'll hop on the phone, and we'll give you some next steps to take with you. If you like this video, I'd love it if you could hit the like or the thumbs up button below. You can subscribe on YouTube, and I hope wherever you are, you have a wonderful holiday, whether you speak about your estate plan with your family or not.